guys, John back here with another video, and today we're going to be talking about these guys right here. Kydex custom holster versus a leather, I guess you could call it generic holster. And we're going to see the pros and the cons and what I prefer and see what's best for you. So stay tuned. Alright, welcome back. So here we are, holsters for your firearms. And got two here, obviously. First one being a custom Kydex holster, which is meant for my CZ P07 Tactical Edition. And then I got my leather holster, which is a company called Tegua, I believe it is. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And I actually ended up buying this one for my 45 caliber Colt, I believe it was. And I've had it ever since, so I'll give you a little bit of backdrop on that in just a second. So what's the difference when you look at these two holsters? What do you see as the main difference being? Obviously one is completely leather, the other one is a plastic polymer, so hard, not going to fold, not going to collapse. Your firearm's going to stay nice and put inside of this. Compared to something like this where it is very flexible, you can push it, you can bend it, you can do everything you want to it. So what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to go ahead and unload these just to make sure. Okay, so that's unloaded, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same with my Beretta. Put the magazines over there. Alright, so I'm going to unload this one, take one out of the chamber. Okay, so these are both cleared and completely unloaded. Now, so what I wanted to explain and kind of show is when I first started getting into firearms, I did start with leather holsters. When I first got into firearms, I was Mr. Don't want to scratch my gun, don't want to scuff it up, you know. It was a pretty thing for me. It wasn't a tactical tool, it was a pretty thing for me. So that being said, I ended up getting a lot of leather holsters. And did they serve their purpose? Absolutely. They held my gun in place. They did what they were supposed to do, and I can't really complain. So once I got more into outside of the pretty guns, like the Colt Defender, the Kimber, Custom Elite Tactical, whatever that was, I didn't want to scratch them all up, so I started off with this leather holster. This is, I think, about 50 bucks, if I remember correctly. This one's about 85 bucks, and this is a Yeti, which is made by, oh god, I forget the name of them. I believe it's some sort of company out there, which there's hundreds of tactical holster companies for Kydex especially. So on this one, you do get the metal clip, which is what I prefer. And then on this one, it came with the plastic clip, which not really what I prefer. It moves on you, which is very annoying because I got it torqued all the way down and it still moves side to side. So the cant on it sometimes is really angled, which I like my gun completely straight up and down. I don't like it canted or angled at all. This one, however, it still does that, which is, you know, a little bit of a bummer because, like I said, it's about an $85 holster. And is a custom holster to fit my Enforce APL light, which is on my CZ on here, as you could tell. So that being said, I do have a light that I use for this one, which is my old light. That's currently on my P10 right now, which I swapped them both around. That's basically what I do. I'll take it off my P10, put it onto there, and then when I feel like carrying my Beretta, pop it off that one, put it on this one. So that being said, I do have Kydex holsters for both the P10 and the P07 with the lights on them, currently on them, because I always carry a light on every gun that leaves my house, no matter what. So that leads me to my next point. So this is a custom Kydex holster. It's meant specifically for the P07 with the Enforce APL light on there. It will not work with any other light put on here. So you can tell, has a nice click in it. Goes in really nice. Retention is really good. Stays in there really well. I could shake on this all I want and nothing's going to happen. So holds it in very, very nice. Does leave a little bit of paint transfer from the white. Does scuff up a little bit. As you could, I don't know if you could tell, but there's some lining developing on there from the in and out of the holster. I do keep all my slides really well oiled though for that exact reason. Just so when I'm in and out of the holster, it doesn't scuff it up too bad. I'm still a little bit of a pretty boy when it comes to guns, especially like this guy right here. It's such a beautiful gun. I'd hate to just wreck it up. And I'm one of those guys, call me crazy, but I am one of those guys where I think, you know, at the end of the day, you pray and hope you never have to use your firearm. That's the number one thing. but at the end of the day, you're going to carry your gun more in your life than you actually go and shoot someone with it. So why not keep it pretty? You know, that's how I look at it. So here we are with the Beretta. This is the PX4 Storm, and I'm going to go ahead and slide it into this holster right here. So obviously holds the gun very well. Barrel's not even protruding. It covers the trigger guard really well, and that's the other thing. So at the end of the day, with this holster versus a Kydex holster, you are not going to hit that trigger, no matter what you do. With a leather gun, it is a little more sensitive and a little more squishy there, so that kind of scares a lot of people because they want it like this, where there is absolutely no way you are going to get your finger onto that trigger from both sides. If you really tried, you can get behind there, but you can't do much. You would have to literally slide this off to even get close to that trigger. So that is definitely not something that's going to happen. With the leather holster, you can kind of get in there, you can kind of wiggle your finger around, and it slides off a lot easier. There's no audible click, so it just goes in and that's it. But the retention's not there. You're gonna definitely, you know, have your gun fall out and slide out and stuff like that. It's not meant to hold your gun like that. It's meant to just put your gun into like that, obviously. But one thing I will say about this holster right here is, majority of my guns, I have lights on them, obviously. I have the Olight PL Mini, the Olight PL Mini 2. I have the Enforce APL, which is on this guy right here. One thing I will say, though, is this holster right here has been one of those... Wow, it's really dusty. This holster, for the leather holster, has been such a beautiful holster because it has worked with pretty much every single firearm I've ever owned. And it's just been crazy because I can't use my Beretta and my Kydex, you know, it won't fit in here no matter what I do. So this, on the other hand, you can. I've used this on my Kimber, I've used this on my Colt Defender, I've used this on my P10. I mean, it's been a holster that literally fits almost every single gun out there, which has been crazy. But it works, and this is honestly what I carry when I'm waiting for my custom Kydex holster to get made for my light for whatever gun it's going on. But that's why I like having this guy, just for that reason. Now this one in particular does have a really deep clip on there. As you can tell, it's very deep. Once you hook this thing on your pants or your belt, it really is tough to take this thing off. I mean, you have to literally yank up on it and pull it out, which also is kind of a poor design, in my opinion, on when you have to put it on your belt. You have to lift this hook up to put it on your belt, which for me, that's a big no-no. I just want something that literally just slides right over and it does all the work by itself, which is what Kydex holsters do with plastic or metal clips. This guy, for some reason, you have to yank up on it to get it to go onto your holster, and then it's, you know, you got to finick with it, you got to get it to line up, unlike your Kydex where you just put the gun in, clip it into your belt or onto your belt, and that's it. It's done. It's not moving anywhere. It's not going anywhere. The leather holster, on the other hand, it's you know, it's just you put it all in, get it ready to go, and then you got to lift. You have to hold up on the clip to put it on your belt, and then you got to line it all up and maneuver it. That's the only downside to leather, in my opinion. Maybe this is not a great leather holster. I'm not into those hybrids, the Kydex and the leather. That's not one of my things I'm into, so that's something I won't try. But when it comes to like this one, maybe it's just one that's not as good. It's only, like I said, I think I paid like $50-$60 for it. Really high-end leather holsters are usually about $80 to $100, some are even more. So maybe this is a cheaper one. I guess that could be a reason for why it's not something I securely like holding my weapons. That's just my personal preference. That also leads back to something like this, where it could be a felt style holster with a metal clip. This holster right here is a pretty decent design, pretty decent setup. Holds my 380 perfect, covers the trigger guard. It's a little more stiff, a little more tough on the sides and the angles, so you're definitely not going to hit that trigger. That's why I pocket carry this one sometimes. Not with the extension on there, but with the flush mag. But this one does hold my pistol pretty well. It's something that I like using. It goes in my pocket really well. I don't ever clip it really because it's such a small firearm that I don't ever really like to clip that gun onto my hip. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with these holsters. It kind of turns into one of those things where it's like, it does make more sense to have a Kydex holster. They are more secure in my opinion. If you get it from a good company, reputable company, they do fit your firearm perfect. And they retain their overall size and shape, which is what you want. You don't really want a leather holster that kind of retains it. but kind of doesn't, you know? And that's my point. This holster has fit 5 firearms I've owned, maybe even more if I tried them all, which is a great thing at first, but then you think about it, you're like, I don't like something that can hold 5 or 6 different firearms, because every firearm's different, you know? Every firearm is different, and I want something that I can just click in, call it a day, it's good to go, you know? If I had to do it all over again with this one, I would have got the metal clip though. I don't prefer the plastic clips. I'll say that again. I prefer metal, not plastic. And let me grab my other one just to kind of describe that one. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. So I'm back. And this is my custom Kydex from my CZP-10 that I just recently bought. It holds the gun very well, as you can tell. It goes around the trigger. I'm not a huge fan of the front trigger guard. I feel like they could have cut it a little further out. If I really, really wanted to, I can get my finger in there, but I just don't like it to be showing at all. I would have loved it if it came out to right here. But I think I only paid like $60 for this holster, and this one is with my Olight attached to it. So overall, it's really good, as you can tell. Clicks in, has a really nice audible clip, really nice pull-out retention on there. It's not going anywhere, no matter how much you shake it. So this right here is a nice holster, and it's a high guard, so it goes all the way up to the top, which is all my holsters except for my leather ones. This one's a little bit shorter. I did want it to go a little bit higher, but I think I did the mid instead by accident, and it was a little tough with the high-rise sights on it for the actual silencer sights, so they said they couldn't do it too high, but overall it fits the gun really well, holds it in place, and same with this one. Now this one right here has a plastic clip. They did not offer the option to go metal, which kind of pissed me off, but they're one of the few that made custom Kydex for a P10C with the Olight attached onto it. So that's going to be pretty much my main focus, and the main part of my story is I feel you should go with hybrid no matter what. Hybrid is the way to go. There's nothing better in my opinion. If you need something just for the time being, of course you can go with a leather holster. If you need something that's just going to hold your gun, because I'll show you actually right now. So this is what I do when I first buy my guns. Go ahead and demount my Olights, and obviously this holster is no longer, can't use it anymore. The gun won't stay in place. Now when I take my Olight off this gun, get some room here, grab my leather holster, guess what? It fits right in place. Holds the gun, barrel barely sticks out. Look at that. Goes around the trigger. It's crazy that this holster works on so many different firearms when it's meant for a .45 caliber Defender. But it holds the gun perfect, and it's like, God, how do you beat that, you know? But the downside to that is once you put a light on it, so obviously you saw it holds the Beretta, no problem, right? So once you put the light on the Beretta though, it no longer holds it the way it's supposed to. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that, always turn the light on. All right, so now I got my light put on my Beretta, which is why I love this light. It goes on to different firearms, no problem. But now you can't put it in this leather holster because it's too tall now at the bottom. So that's where Kydex comes into place. So this is my custom Kydex holster for my Beretta PX4 Storm. This is a holster that's designed to hold the light, obviously, and it's got a nice audible click. Got great retention. This ain't going nowhere. This one is made by, I believe it was the, oh goodness, what was the name? Ohio Firearms Holsters, I believe it was. I will say overall, this is a very, very nice holster. It's cut really nice. It's got perfect edging to it, no harsh edges. Everything is perfectly symmetrical, and as you can tell, it really does a great job on covering the trigger guard. Perfect in the front, holds it very, very well. I mean, it's a very nice holster. I think I paid $80 for this holster. Cleveland Kydex, that was the name of that company. Cleveland Kydex holsters. The only downside I had with this holster was it came with a metal clip, and that metal clip was like sticking out here when I got it. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, it was literally sticking out like over a ½ inch from the actual body of the Kydex, which is useless at that point. So luckily I have other plastic clips, and I was able to put a plastic clip on here, which I don't like, but I had to do it. and it works just fine. It's a great holster. Outside of that one major issue that I fixed, it's a great holster. Holds the gun perfectly with the O-light on here, and can't ask for anything better. So, but yeah, that's why I wanted to make this video, kind of going over a few different holsters. Take this back off because my carry gun today is my P10. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that back on and slide that back, lock that in place. Boom, that's it. Now you have a pistol mounted light on your gun. Go back into its holster. So that's the holster for the P10. So yeah, that's something I wanted to make a video on. And just to kind of show you, there's a lot of different style of Kydex holsters. This one right here is okay. I mean, I think it's like a $70 holster. It was $60 to $75. I can't remember exactly, but overall, it's okay. This one right here is a lot nicer. It's cut. I mean, you can tell by the edging. It's polished nice and neatly. It doesn't have no hard edges on there. Everything's very symmetrical, like I said. It's a high guard holster. This one, on the other hand, is not cut the best. It's cut pretty even, but not the best. But I mean, like I said, it's something that I prefer over a leather holster. Now, I do love the versatility-ness of a leather holster and how it works with pretty much every gun on this table, which is my P10, my P07, and my Beretta PX4 Storm, which is amazing to me. And it works for the time being. So when I'm waiting for my custom holster with the light mount, cut out for it, I do end up using this holster. So I hate to say it, but I do end up using it. So it all comes down to what you prefer, what's most comfortable for you, and the time, what's going on at the time of you needing a holster. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to carry this to carry my gun regardless. You know what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, if I need something to hold my gun and I have nothing else, I'm going to absolutely carry this. It's not something I prefer to carry, but I'll carry it. But what it comes down to is this is going to be my main carry for the first week or so until my custom Kydex holster comes in. Once my custom Kydex comes in, that's it. I'm going right to the Kydex. But just to show you how this doesn't work now, I took the light off. There's no light on here anymore. And this holster is no longer usable. The gun will slide right out. It won't stay put. So that's the only downside. I like how a leather holster, you could just slap any gun into it and it works right away. But I don't like how it's not firm. I don't like how it doesn't support your firearm as well. And I do like how it keeps your guns clean, though. It doesn't scratch them all up and fade them and wear them down. But when it comes to Kydex, though, I think it's the safest, best option for overall use in general. It's not, like I said, it's not going to keep your gun pretty. It doesn't look pretty. It's just a hunk of plastic that's designed to fit your gun. But it works the best. In my opinion, it works the best. This right here, after using this for many years, I don't feel like I wouldn't be confident knowing that people running around carrying this. And it's really hard to get your gun out of too. Like when this thing's clipped in and it's holding your gun, you got to really like yank on your gun to get it out, opposed to a Kydex holster where, Kydex holster is just literally, you just slide it right out and you're good to go, And you get that audible click to let you know, hey, I'm in, I'm clicked, Same with my P07. Clicks it in, you know that gun's in there. So just wanted to make a video on that, just kind of my 2 cents on it. So if you have any questions, comment down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And catch you guys on the next one. Peace.